した約束忘れないよ目を閉じてしかめる押し寄せた闇振り払って進むよ
You know, I've had a real tough time reviewing this anime, Magical Madoka, Mahou Shoujo Madoka. It's one of the most difficult animes I've had to review in a long while. And it's because it's a very complicated anime, even though it's only 12 episodes long. And in order to really justify a lot of things that I need to talk about in the anime, I should really reveal a lot of things about the anime. But that poses other issues that could ruin the anime for you, and I don't think that's very fair. So I'm going to do my best not to reveal anything to you, and also give you a very just viewpoint on the anime. The basics are, Madoka is a young high school girl, 14 years old, who in the opening of the anime has a dream about a magical girl. And in this dream there's a strange creature who's called Kuibi. Alright, you might mistake him for a Nanawa ripoff, because he looks a lot like a ferret with really long ears. And Kuibi tells her that this magical girl that she's fighting is fighting alone and won't be able to stop the witches she is fighting by herself, and basically offers Madoka the chance to become a magical girl, but before she can decide, she wakes up. That girl then shows up the very next day in her class. She's a transfer student. She's very cold, and she's oddly fixated on Madoka. Her name is Homura. And without much time going by, she basically wants to go to the nurse's office. She says she doesn't feel well, knowing that Madoka is the class representative who would take people to the nurse's office. Okay? How she knows this, I can't explain that to you, but she does know this. Okay? They then have a very strange conversation in the hallway where Homura, without saying in so many words, "Don't become a magical girl," says to Madoka, "Don't become a magical girl." Now, of course, this creature she saw in her dreams is also real, Kuibi, and he has very different aspirations for Madoka. Madoka meets Kuibi when he pulls her into the magical world. He does this because at the time Homura is trying to kill him. Alright? And so he pulls her in there and her friend Sayaka into this magical world where they meet Mami. Mammy, pretty much close. I think it's Mommy. I feel a little uncomfortable calling it Mommy. Hi Mommy! No, that's a dumb name for a girl. I'm sorry. It probably has a nice meaning in Japanese. To me it's just a dumb name. But Mami is a magical girl already. And, this is where they find out about magical girls being real. And that they have a mission to A, stop witches, and B, to remove all the grief seeds that the witches plant, which are used to basically bring humans to the witches so that they can basically kill them. Alright? And the more grief seeds you collect, the better. And then Kuibi basically kind of eats them and then cleans your soul gem so that you see too much grief is not good for the soul. So, your basic job as a magic girl is to fight witches and collect grief seeds. Enough said. Alright, I don't want to tell you more about that because, again, I'm delving into part of the anime that would reveal too much for you. Alright? Now, Kuibi is interested in both Madoka and Sayaka. That's why they were both pulled into the world. Sayaka doesn't have as much potential as Madoka has. Let me put it to you this way. Kuibi is foaming at the mouth at the chance of making Madoka into a magical girl. So, and how does he make you a magical girl? Well, A, you have to wish for something that you really, really want. And in return for granting that wish, he removes your soul gem so that you become a magical girl. There's a lot more behind that I'm letting on to, but it's important you know that that's the process of becoming a magical girl. If you really want to understand more about that, you're going to need to watch the anime. All along throughout the anime, it almost seems like there's a battle between Homura and Kubi over Madoka and her fate, or whether she becomes a magical girl or not. Okay, Homura has her reasons why she doesn't want Madoka becoming a magical girl. She doesn't want Sayaka to become one either. She's trying to, in a sense, just keep Kubi away from them as much as possible. But when Kubi is finally able to get Sayaka to become a magical girl, he tries then to use that relationship to make Madoka go into becoming a magical girl. And when that doesn't work, he sends in another magical girl, Kyoka, to attack Sayaka in order to get Madoka, hopefully, to defend Sayaka, so that she decide, oh yeah, I've definitely in order to protect my friend, have to become a magical girl. But once again, Homer keeps stepping in to prevent this from happening all throughout the anime. So you begin to ponder, by the time you're at episode number 8, why is this called Mahou Shoujo Madoka, when so far, through 8 episodes, there is nothing magical about Madoka, except that, one character wants her to be a magical girl and the other doesn't. She has all this potential, and all she does is stand around for most of the anime going, oh, what do I do, what do I do, what do I do? So it's puzzling to me at that point. But this is where it gets difficult to review the anime, because after episode number 8, things really do become to pick up, and a lot of things happen in those last 4 episodes that really help round out the anime. Now, in all fairness, okay, I gotta tell you that for the most part I didn't enjoy this anime, okay, but that shouldn't dissuade you from watching this anime. There are many things about this anime that were refreshing, and as a result, almost changed the whole genre of magical girls, like Princess Tutu did in a lot of ways. Princess Tutu is a Mahou Shoujo. It's just more of, I'd have to say, a dark fairy tale than it is Mahou Shoujo. But there are elements in there. There's a very different approach to it. And again, Mahou Shoujo Madoka does the same type of thing, where they come about the magical girl in a very different light. How you become a magical girl, what happens to a magical girl, so that is never delved into. I mean, in Nanawa, she goes from being a magical girl to a magical woman. They still call her a magical girl, but really, that she's a magical woman. In Madoka, they explore a different aspect of that relationship. And again, I can't go into that too much, because that will really taint not the review, but the anime for you and how you might enjoy it. So we're going to keep away from that. Now, for me, I'd have to say the story from episodes 1 through 8 were a big fat F. I was looking for a place to hang myself. They were boring as hell. Like I said, Madoka spent a lot of time crying and upset and confused about what she should do. And I found myself very, very bored. However, I have to say the last 4 episodes really rescued the anime, rounded about, have enough of a different element into it to save this anime from being, a terrible anime. Let's put it this way, it goes from being an F to a C+, in my opinion, as far as an anime goes. Very watchable. So overall, I give the anime a C+. The animation style also is a confusing quality to this anime, because in the real world you have one technique, and in the magical world it's almost clownish in a lot of ways. Circus-like is the best way I could put it. Childish. And it's not very good, but it's done with the intent of making it so that you understand this is the magical world, not the real world. Okay? So that, it shouldn't be taken as a negative. Okay? So I really shouldn't give the anime a poor grade when it comes to animation style, like a D, because of those scenes being done intentionally like that. Overall, then, I have to say, then, the artistic value, I would say, is a C+. It wasn't great. I wasn't too thrilled with it. There are some nice things about it, but for me, it was a C+. Last but not least, it's very difficult to discuss voice acting with you when all I have to work with is the Japanese cast. Okay? Was it good? Yeah, I guess it was good. I have no really reason to complain, so I got to give it a strong B. I didn't like certain characters, like but Madoka's character is meant to be a crybaby, in my opinion. She's meant to be. I don't even know how to describe her. I wasn't thrilled with her character. I wasn't really, like I said, for the most part, thrilled with the anime at all. I think, though, if you like this genre of anime, you'll be very pleased with it. I think that the different directions that they take the magical girl, as unique it is refreshing. And the lack of, the needless transformations, these needless overextended transformations, was a very pleasant change. So that also was very good. The last point I have to say is about this, you really need to watch this from the beginning to the end to give this anime a fair shake. If you stop watching it after 6 or 7 episodes because you're bored, you won't understand why it was considered by so many to be such a good anime and why people couldn't wait for the last few episodes to be released. Those episodes, as far as I'm concerned, make the anime. So watch the whole way through if you're going to watch it. Okay? For me, is this a must-watch? No. Overall, this is a C+ anime. It's watchable. It's not a must-watch. If you're into the magical girl genre, I really suggest you watching it. But don't go by my opinion in this one. For me, it wasn't my cup of tea, as they would say. It may be yours. So don't let my opinion dissuade you from this. Watch it, give it its own fair shake. For me, like I said, it's a C+ anime. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't watch it again. There are some things, like I said, I enjoyed about it. Nothing else. Alright? So, with all that behind us, let's get on to the next subject, the 50th review. What am I going to review? I'm going to wait to tell you that. I need to take care of a couple things, and I will post something in the next week or two. So don't expect a review for another 2 weeks. Now, again, I wish to implore you that my Peothra account has 2 strikes against it. So I've been posting everything over to Dark Helmet as I go. I need to get a little bit better into doing that. I forget to sometimes. But if you want to continue to see reviews, if my account gets taken down, you'll need to change to Dark Helmet 13. Also, I'll be posting any new OWL tests that are going to be posted. It's taking a lot longer to get OWL test number 5 done. So unfortunately, it's just going to be done in time for Anime Next. I was hoping to have it done for Icon. Now not going to be done Anime Next. The goal was to have it done by Icon and have a second episode ready for Anime Next. That's not going to happen. I'm going to be lucky it's done for Anime Next. Let's put it that way. Then I also need you to go and subscribe to Furry Dolphin Dubs, because there you're going to have things like Star Blazers on Ice, Inuyasha Burlesque, Semi-Metal Alchemist. This when Tony gets off his ass and we work on this, and I can't put it all on him, but we both need to work on this. But this ugly, beautiful porn movie, we need to get to working on that, and that will also be on Furry Dolphin Dubs. So get off your duff and subscribe there as well. Okay. Anyway, I think I've covered everything I wanted to talk about. You folks have a good night and take care. Bye bye.